On behalf of JAXOM, IFIM institutions, and Vijay Bhumi University, welcome you all to the 12th edition of Kanyathon 2023. As we kickstart our proceedings, we have today with us a senior guest speaker, Dr. Anupama Malagi. Dr. Anupama Malagi is a PhD holder in the fields of HR and economics. Along with it, she has been conferred with prestigious awards like Outstanding Women Leadership. She is a certified trainer from ISTD and internationally recognized MBIT coach. Over the last 26 years, she has accumulated rich experience of mentoring students. At the moment, she is an academician at RV Institute of Management. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Ma'am, so we would like to start with how did your interest in HR kick off?
See, that's a long journey. So, and thanks for that very, very generous introduction that you gave, because there, it was something right from beginning. I was a person who was interested in bringing about some change in the lives of youngsters. So, as soon as I finished my post-graduation, that was the time when I thought, yes, by choice, I got into the teaching profession. After I completed my MPhil in economics, then I thought, let me not look at any other career opportunity, and teaching is where I want to get into. So that is something which I want to emphasize here, that not by chance but by choice I got into teaching. And right from then onwards, I could understand my own strengths of dealing with people. I thought I was good at interacting with people, to deal with people, and to convince about a certain point. So that is something which, I started nurturing that idea of specializing into human resource management.
Human resource as a field is very closely related to psychology. And psychology, as the understanding that we have, is very subjective from an individual to an individual.
Yes.
So, how do you think psychology plays a vital role in shaping an individual's personality and HR as a domain?
Yes, that's a beautiful question that you have posed. See, one thing is when you are talking about human relations, it is just understanding another person as an individual and understanding what is the thought process that goes, because every person has got his or her own perspective, way of thinking, way of approach, and it is how you understand, how you are able to put yourself in the other person's shoes and look at things. See, here this more than a subject in management which we call now, it is more to do with the behavioral aspect. It is more to do with the thought process, how things work and how the mind functions under different situations. And as you rightly mentioned, it is something very, very subjective and very, very contextual. In different situations, the same person can display different types of behaviors. So that is pertaining to the context in which we are looking at, the situation in which we are interacting with the person. So I strongly feel every person who is dealing with the human resources should have a strong grounding or knowledge about the psychology part of it, because it is more to do with the understanding the other person's mindset. So that's how it works.
There's a consensus amongst management students that challenges are unique to all domains.
Yes.
But I feel challenges in the HR domain are unique to a different level. Uh, how would you define the challenges in the HR domain at the moment, the challenges that were there in the last 5 years, and what could be the challenges going forward in the next 5 years?
See, one thing I'll tell you, HR domain is a never dying field. Past, present and in future. Whatever we look at, whatever the advent of artificial intelligence, machine learning, whatever we say, but human interface is a must. That is one thing. And coming to the challenges that you asked, yes, challenges in the human resource domain are absolutely unique, because we are talking about extremely dynamic situations. Because see, human behavior, how can you ascertain, or how can you assure that this person will behave in this way in the next 15 minutes? That's just not going to happen. And on the other hand, if you are looking at any other resource, you know, you are able to predict, at least to a certain extent, reasonable extent, yes, this is going to be how it works in the near future or in some time, but not so with human behavior. So that is where, we are talking about that agility which has to be there, where you are able to quickly acclimatize to the situations as and how they arise, and you are in a position to, immediately think about it from a different perspective. So that is the extent of dynamism that has to be there in facing these challenges. So that is one thing. And previously, when you spoke about, in the past, what were the challenges? Yes, past it was a little easy as compared to what it is at present. Why? Because we were referring to this human element as just a resource. So, like any other factors of production, what we say in economics, human resource was one of the factors for any productive activity. At present, what is happening? We are dealing with more knowledgeable resources, and organizations have understood that you can no longer treat this factor as just a resource, but you have to invest in making them better. So that is the reason why, there has been a paradigm shift. We have started referring to this as human capital. We no longer call it as human resource, we call it as human capital. Why do we consider it as human capital? Because that is something where you are investing on the capital and you reap the returns on that. So in future also it is definitely going to be much more challenging, because almost all the HR functions are getting automated. Almost everywhere we see the advent of artificial intelligence coming, but nevertheless, human interference or human intervention will never come down. That is one strong feeling which I have, because generally students have this apprehension when they have to make a choice of the elective subjects. They say HR, we don't know, they are a little skeptical about the opportunities. But whatever it is, human intervention is going to be there, and that is how it is.
So, this like, from this question we can develop another question. That is like, has there been in your experience as an academician over the years, have you felt that the students that were there 5 years ago and the students that are coming now, is there a difference in the personality, the way they think and the way they have been shaped and nurtured?
Yeah, there I can see, because over the past 26 years, so I have been seeing batch after batch, and one very clear change that I observe now is students in the present days are much better informed, have better access to a lot of data and information, and are more independent in their thinking. See, this was not there earlier, because earlier what used to happen, they would go in a set pattern. Okay, you finish your graduation, get into your post-graduation, take up a job, and settle in life. But now, when we find that the students come with their own independent thinking, their own set of priorities, that is where, we find that decision making seems to be better off in the present day world. And that is why we find the emergence of this gig economy now. That people don't want to get hooked on to a particular job lifelong. So that is where this has come up, because of that change in the thinking pattern of students over the years.
So, at the moment, there are two prevailing school of thoughts, that the overall level of youth, the personality level, has one school of thought is that it has deteriorated compared to previous generations. The other school of thought is no, it has become more informed, as you say. So, do you think that it has improved for the better, or has it deteriorated? And what would make a good personality according to you?
Yes. See, this is again a multi-dimensional question that you have posed now. See, once one school of thought, as you said, yes, we do have people who are still, most of the time, cribbing that present day generation has deteriorated in terms of their value systems. But at the same time, when we see their advantage, how quick they are in acquiring new knowledge, which our generation we didn't think of. You know, that kind of agility with which the new technology is inculcated, and it becomes like part of their DNA now. So I would feel that deterioration is again a relative term. Deterioration as compared to what? So why not we, channelize that kind of agility, that kind of informed way what the present generation is in towards having that kind of a value-based system. See, one thing I have been strongly advocating: if a person has to be successful, he or she has to follow that 3P formula. So what is this 3P formula? First, be clear about what is your purpose in life. Once we know what is the purpose, then have that preparedness to prioritize. That ability to prioritize or preparedness to prioritize is the next step. And finally, whatever you are doing, do it with passion. So now, when all these three things are driven home, obviously, once you are clearly moving towards your purpose, that is the time when you let go of all these things deviating from the value systems and other things. Automatically, it gets corrected. So that is what I advise the present day students.
And coming to the second part of the question, what would, in your opinion, make a good personality in today's day and age?
See, one thing what I strongly feel and suggest is leverage your strengths. What are the strengths? You have absolute, next level knowledge about the technology, what is prevailing now. Leverage on that and have the clarity of purpose. That is something which makes a well-rounded personality, and that is something which will take you places, because there you are not compromising on anything, because you know where you want to be, what you want to achieve, and how you can do that, because you are already having those inherent strengths. You have those where the present generation, I feel, has all the comforts which are already there, and leverage on that. Make use of whatever facilities are available and focus on the purpose. That is what will make the personality better.
That is definitely a lot of wisdom coming from an academician who has been in the field for the last 26 years. We would also like to inform our viewers that Dr. Anupama is also a TED speaker. We would like to ask you, ma'am, how did that happen and what was the topic and how
Yes.
was the experience?
That was again kind of a dream come true, because I used to use many of these TED Talks for my classroom topics, especially when I wanted to teach about employees first concept by Vineet Nair. I used to make use of that TED Talk, and when this opportunity came, I got this call that, ma'am, you're getting an opportunity. That was like something mesmerizing. And I also had to add to this joy, the topic which they gave me was empower women, empower a generation. Because all of us know, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a family. But going one step ahead, if you educate women, you are educating the entire generation. So that was my topic which I had to talk about. And that is where I got this beautiful opportunity where I could convey to the world, especially the girl students, that no matter what, stand up for your purpose in life. Stand up for what you aspire for. Because once that is done, that support system automatically develops around you. Because see, once you have the clarity of purpose, you will have the entire system coming together, and you have that support. Otherwise, there's no point just telling I don't have the support, I don't have this, I don't have that. And I also quoted my own example how my journey into this began, because I was born in a family where we were three daughters, and born in a family of freedom fighters. My grandfather was a freedom fighter. So there we had these deep-rooted, you know, kind of thoughts in us that if at all you want to make a mark for yourself in the society, that is only through education. You have to be educated enough, you have to have the awareness and spread that kind of awareness. That is how you are carving a place for yourself in the society. So there, and my parents have been, very strongly propagating this, that never we had that kind of discrimination that you can't study, you can't do this, you can't do that. Now, this is precisely what I tell the youngsters also. Now, because of course, if you look at the societal scenario, still there are certain set of families or parents who are still conservative, don't want to send out their girl child out for studies and all those things. But they should understand whatever they are spending on the girl's education is not an expenditure, but it should be an investment. Because later, lifelong, she reaps the benefit of it. So that was my entire, this one of the TED talk which I gave. That was a very, very joyful moment for me, because I was able to reach out to so many girls across the world. So that is one point there. And further to that, that was one platform which I got to tell people out in the world, there are so many hardworking women. But due to some reasons, due to some situations, they are still suppressed and oppressed. They have to stand up against these challenges. They have to, put their foot down and say, this is my purpose in life, and I'm going to face the challenges. That is how we can talk about success. Otherwise, there's no point just talking about equal rights. What is equal rights? It is, we have to stand up for against the challenges, stand up for our purpose, and prove the abilities.
I think the topic that you spoke about goes very much hand in hand with the initiative that we've undertaken at IFIM institutions and Jackson and
Yes.
Vijay as well. That is Kanyathon, and it is without an iota of doubt that when you educate a girl child, you are doing service to the civilization of the country as a whole.
Very much.
So, if you could just reflect on this Kanyathon that has been going on as we enter the 12th edition of Kanyathon in the form of Kanyathon 2023 now.
See, this is a beautiful initiative that the institution has taken up, because, see, this is how the educated lot, the educational institutions can join hands and come and, encourage the children in their education, because this is the way in which we give back to the society. So, hats off for this beautiful initiative. And I have been following this event which is happening last year and last to last year. We have been hearing about this, and the very uniqueness of the event itself catches the attention of people. Hey, what is this Kanyathon? So then people start thinking about it, because we still find many of these girls from the underprivileged families still being deprived of education. So by such initiatives, it can go a long way in solving this problem or mitigating this kind of situation, because world will be a better place to live. So I really appreciate this event which is happening, and proud to be part of it. That's something which resonates with my very basic ideology, where I've been talking about the girl child's education importance, and no girl child should be deprived of education. So that we have to take the pledge, because we as the educated lot in the society, this is how we can bring in that change. So Mahatma Gandhi has told, if you want to see the change, be the change. So you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. So these are all steps towards bringing about that society transformation. So we don't call it just as a change. Change is a smaller world, a smaller world rather. It is the society's transformation which happens. That means there should be an altogether different view about the society. So thanks for this, making me part of this initiative.
So, ma'am, what would be your final statements to anyone who's watching this right now?
See, my message would be, please do support this cause to save the girl child. The Kanyathon 2023 is happening on the 12th of March, and do run for her.